On the news, appeal court affirms Julius Abure as Labour Party chairman, fines Lamidi Apapa 1 million naira. Edo Assembly commences impeachment process against Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu. And bill seeking enactment of Nigeria Maritime Administration and Safety Agency Act passes second reading. Thank you for joining us on News Now. I'm Simisola Ajikun. Well, it's good news for the Abure-led faction of the opposition Labour Party as the Court of Appeal in Abuja has affirmed Julius Abure as the national chairman of the party. It also set aside the decision of the Federal Capital Territory FCT High Court, which in 2023 restrained Abure and two others from parading themselves as national officers of the party. In the judgment delivered by Justice Hama Barka on Wednesday, the appellate court held that the High Court was wrong to have assumed jurisdiction on the matter. It also awarded a cost of 1 million naira in favor of Abure and against the respondent Lamidi Apapa. Justice Hamza Muazu of the Federal Capital Territory High Court had last year granted an ex parte order ordering that Abure and two other national officers stop parading themselves as leaders of the party for allegedly forging national documents. That decision has, of course, now been quashed.
Action at the trial court was instituted by some individuals, I don't know where they came from, challenging the propriety of the continued occupation of the Labour Party chairmanship office by Mr. Julius Abure. And by the judgment of the Court of Appeal, the Court of Appeal has found that that action, as contrived, was incompetent. It was null and void.
Julius Abure has always been the national chairman. The court, no court ever has said that he has ceased from being the national chairman. And today, again, the court has reaffirmed to the appeal court that he is the substantive national chairman. I think the case ends today, and there won't be any need for anybody to go further.
Edo State Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu's days in office may be numbered as the State House of Assembly has commenced impeachment proceedings against him. The majority leader of the House, who announced the impeachment notice as the petition dated March the 5th against the Deputy Governor was endorsed by 21 out of the 24 lawmakers of the House. The majority leader maintained that the number of lawmakers that signed the petition have met the required two-thirds stipulated in the Constitution. And according to the majority leader, the petition was based on perjury and the disclosure of government secrets. Shaibu has now been given 7 days to respond to the petition. Well, now the relationship between Shaibu and the governor, Godwin Obaseki, has deteriorated in recent months, with Shaibu attributing his fallout with Obaseki to his ambition to succeed him as the governor of Edo State. A political affairs analyst, Bodo, joins me to discuss this further. Thank you for your time, sir. Now, are you surprised by this turn of events in Edo State following the controversy that trailed the conduct of the PDP primary?
Well, I like the way you phrased it in your intro, that Shaibu stay as deputy governor of Edo State may be numbered, because he has tried everything in the statute book to discredit his principal, to overreach himself, and to portray his principal in bad light. Arising from his ambition to succeed Governor Godwin Obaseki, he has gone about it like his life depends on it. Right from middle of last year, I recall that at some point, even before an official impeachment notice was made against him, he went to court, he ran to court to get an injunction stopping his investigation and impeachment. That was last year. And thereafter, the governor, ostracized him more or less, pushed him out of the government house into another office somewhere in town. And, after that, he apologized publicly on several occasions, pleaded that the governor should take him as a prodigal's brother and that they should go about the way they were doing before politics tend to separate them. And Governor Obaseki showed magnanimity and forgave Shuaibu. But in the lead up to the Edo PDP primaries, Shuaibu went about it like he has an, divine ordination to be the next governor of Edo State. He not only claimed victory, even when he said his supporters were not allowed to vote, he held a parallel party primary. And even when the PDP leadership recognized Esue Igodalu as a candidate who won the primary, and Shuaibu came to Abuja and went to PDP party secretariat to demand a certificate of return. And you ask yourself whether he just had the vision or somebody had told him that he's the next governor of Edo State. Ambition should be made of standard stuff. No. There's no doubt about that. But he could have simply just excused himself from PDP and moved to another party rather than being shoved out of the party the way it will seem Governor Obaseki is about to do. I know he will rush to court. It's predictable that he will go to court to seek protection of the court. But every impeachment move we have seen since 1999 being political, the State Assembly may still go ahead to impeach him, even when he has gotten a court injunction, just to make sure that for the remainder of the tenure of Godwin Obaseki, he would not be recognized as a incumbent deputy governor. So we wait to see. It's a cat and mouse game. We wait to see how this will pan out eventually.
All right, now with the accusations leveled against the deputy governor, and you said he will go to court. Now, do you think that he will survive it? He can survive it?
Well, I'm not Nostradamus, but let's hope he survives it. But there is a proverb in my part of the world that you are not wanted in a town, and you said you want to sing. If you sing, who will chorus it for you? Obviously, he has lost out in the power game in Edo State. I know he will take refuge in the court, but even if he gets a court injunction, there could be an order of stay of execution, and then Obaseki group will still go ahead to impeach him. We saw that happen in Kogi State with former deputy governor of Governor Yahaya Bello, who went to court, and ultimately the court said he was wrongly removed, but the tenor the tenor that he was fighting to be reinstated to had expired by the time the court reinstated him. And the Constitution did not specifically state what constitutes gross misconduct. Now they have alleged that he committed perjury and one other offense, which was not mentioned. But for the fact that 21 out of 24 members signed that impeachment move shows that the pendulum seemed to swing against Philip Shuaibu. And I would be surprised if he managed to survive. He may get reinstated by the courts after the tenure of Obaseki may have ended, but I do not see how he will survive this onslaught. More so that he has behaved in a manner that does not portray him as a good party man. Other colleagues of his, when they are shown giving the cold shoulder like this, it's better for them to leave the party and seek solace and candidacy under another party. But he is a comrade and a veteran of several political battles. Remember, he was a student union leader, and then he was a member of House of Reps before he became a deputy governor. So he has seen many political battles in his life. We wait to see how he survived, whether he will survive this or not. But suffice to say that the ties are very much against Philip Shuaibu. as we speak.
I will keep monitoring events as they unfold in Edo State. Mr. Jide Ojo, Political Affairs Analyst, thank you for lending your thoughts. Moving on, Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Abubakar Kyari has attributed the current food scarcity and rising food costs in Nigeria to food smuggling across borders, flooding, COVID-19, insecurity, and the Central Bank of Nigeria's cash swap policy in 2023. The minister, who spoke at a recent sectoral debate organized by the House of Representatives in Abuja, highlighted the urgent need for 72,000 tractors to support mechanized farming and address the food shortage. Currently, only about 5,000 tractors are operational across the country. To tackle this deficiency, Kyari has announced a 5-year agreement with a manufacturer to supply 2,000 tractors annually. Speaking further, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives Benjamin Kalu underscored the need for collective efforts to address both supply and demand factors, including food price inflation.
Case in point, COVID in 2020 had a great impact worldwide, not only to Nigeria, worldwide in terms of food production and food supply. And shortly thereafter in 2021 and 2022, for those of us from the middle area of Nigeria and even in the northwest, we noticed a considerable rise in flooding activities around the riverbanks that has caused a lot of damage to our food production, especially during the rainy season. We are currently in an operations all over Nigeria, which has resulted in the seizure of over 120 trucks across different border stations and border areas in the country. So, because we are in a state of emergency, we have received the directive to implement some kind of restrictions on the exports of critical food items, particularly grains.
Our collective effort must focus on addressing both demand and supply factors along with the persistent challenge of food price inflation. Through thorough analysis, I have identified 4 critical levers for improving food security: increasing per capita consumption, raising production yield, curbing food price inflation, and reducing reliance on food import.
The Senate has condemned in strong terms the recent attacks on Benue communities by terrorists. This formed parts of resolutions reached during Wednesday's plenary at the upper chamber of the National Assembly. The Senate says it is worried about the worsening spate of insecurity in the country after Senator Emmanuel Odende raised a point of order on the killing of over 50 people in Logo, Goma, and Katsina Ala areas of Benue State. Deeply worried by the development, the upper chamber urged service chiefs, including the Inspector General of Police, to, as a matter of urgency, deploy their men to flush out the criminal elements terrorizing Benue State and effectively curb the activities of terrorists nationwide.
The Senate aware with deepest sadness that no fewer than 50% have been killed in fresh attacks on several communities in Kwande, Ukum, Logo, and Katsina local government areas of Benue State by terrorists parading as headsmen. Further aware that the affected communities, some of which were attacked as recently as yesterday, and which attack are ongoing, leaving many homes completely burnt down and numerous residents still missing, while the perpetrators, however, remain elusive and have not been apprehended.
I think that the Senate should resolve this time around to honestly ask our compliance committee to ensure that resolutions passed here in the interest of our people are complied with and given effect.
Until we resolve to do what is required of us to do constitutionally, we shouldn't be coming here to be raising motion upon motion every day. This community is attacked, that community is attacked. What have we done as a Senate, as members of the National Assembly, as the third arm of government, to really tame the tide of this insecurity? Until we do our responsibility, Mr. President, we should not be crying for wolf when there is none at the site.
Meanwhile, a bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency Act 2007 and enact the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency Act 2023 has scaled second reading during plenary on Tuesday. In his lead debate at the Red Chamber, Senator representing Lagos Central Wasiu Eshilokun disclosed that the bill seeks to promote maritime safety and security as well as the protection of the maritime environment, among others.
The objectives of the bill include to promote the development of coastal shipping, trade and indigenous commercial shipping on national and international waters, to regulate and promote maritime safety and security, to protect the marine environment, and also regulate ship registration, and regulate also the development of maritime labor. And the bills also includes provision to ensure national security. It mandates the agency to conduct search and rescue services in line with Nigeria's obligations under international conventions.
This bill is in consonance with the drive of the present administration to dominate our maritime environment. And it was against this backdrop that for the first time, in a very, very unparalleled and unprecedented manner, this administration created a ministry that is charged with the responsibility of dealing with blue economy. And this was done against the background of the fact that there is the need for us to diversify our economy away from oil.
Court in Abuja has fixed March 18 for the hearing of the motion filed by the detained president of Miyetti Allah Kautahore Bello Bodejo seeking his unconditional release from the custody of the Defense Intelligence Agency. Bodejo was arrested on January 23 at the Miyetti Allah office in Karu local government area of Nasarawa State over the unveiling of a vigilante group. The Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, had on February 5 filed a motion ex parte seeking to remand Bodejo pending the conclusion of the investigation and arraignment in court. While Justice Inyang Eko also granted an order for Bodejo to be remanded for 15 days in the custody of the Defense Intelligence Agency. In his submission, counsel for Bodejo told the court several efforts were made to have his client released to them pending his arraignment, and he has spent 43 days in detention while there is no charge filed before any court of competent jurisdiction. The poor state of roads leading to Ashipa in Ayobo, a suburb within the Alimosho local government area in Lagos, has become a nightmare for commuters and residents of that area, significantly impacting their businesses. Road users say that the road has been neglected for over 20 years, and as a result, residents have moved out of the area due to the poor state of the road. Our correspondent Sydney Okafo completes the story.
Ayobo is a suburb under Alimosho local government area of Lagos State. Around the neighborhood is where Anko University is located and has a good road network that leads to the institution. However, the situation with the inner roadways are different. They are in poor condition and have made it difficult for residents and commuters to get around and do business. Residents groan over the terrible state of the inner road, which has collapsed due to heavy rainfall.
The road, you can even see the passion. So we have been in this mess for over a decade now. Yes, over a decade. And we have been complaining, even right from Fashola, Governor Fashola then. So you can even see, even our cars, we have to park it. We have to park it because of the condition of the road.
The Baale of Ashipa says they have reached out to the government, but nothing has been done yet.
We complain about this road, that please they should assist us, because the road rehabilitation is the most important thing we have in this community. Now, during the dry season, we can enjoy this road a little bit. If there's rainy season, we find a lot of problems. You cannot come in when they are raining, because the flood, some times ago, about last year, the flood carry a lot of people in this community to the canal. Well, we have been appealing to the Lagos state government, we go to the local government, we are writing, we do a lot of things just to assist us.
The residents appealed to the government to assist them, citing the impacts that the poor road network, which has led to abandoned shops in the neighborhood.
It has made the value of my building to be very low, because nobody will come here to say you want to come and rent a house, or to even buy. If you have a business that you display here, who will leave the town to come and see you?
You know, the last one they did before this coming rain, the grid, you know, it was done, you know, through the neighborhood something effort, community effort rather, and not government something. So that's all I can say. I've never seen, you know, any government, you know, aid. So if we can see, if they can help us, well, we shall be very grateful.
While waiting for the state government intervention to help fix the roads, residents of Ayobo are not relenting in their joint communal efforts to fix the dusty roads by using stones as temporary measures to make them partially motorable. Sydney Okafo, TV 360, Lagos.
We'll take a break now, but coming up, reps consider laws to regulate cryptocurrency, digital assets transactions in the country. We'll have this and other stories when we return. Welcome back. Here's a recap of our major stories. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has affirmed Julius Abure as the national chairman of the party. It also set aside the decision of the Federal Capital Territory FCT High Court, which in 2023 restrained Abure and two others from parading themselves as national officers of the Labour Party. On Wednesday, in the judgment delivered by Justice Hama Barka, the appellate court held that the High Court was wrong to have assumed jurisdiction on the matter. It also awarded a cost of 1 million naira in favor of Abure and against the respondent, Lamidi Apapa. We also told you that the Edo House of Assembly has commenced impeachment proceedings against the State Deputy Governor, Philip Shaibu. The majority leader of the House, who announced the impeachment notice, said the petition dated March 5 against the Deputy Governor, which was endorsed by 21 out of the 24 lawmakers. According to the majority leader, the petition was based on perjury and disclosure of government secrets. However, Shaibu has been given 7 days to respond to the petition. Now, just in case you missed any of our news bulletins, and for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store and Huawei App Gallery. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. Well, let's now join Tamilore Akinkwole to bring us up to speed with news in the world of business. Over to you, Tamilore.
Thank you, Semisola. Well, in the world of business, amid growing global concerns about the national security implications of cryptocurrency transactions through crypto exchanges, including consumer and investor security in the country, the House of Representatives has resolved to investigate the current status of all online peer-to-peer marketplace transactions in the country. The Grain Chamber added it will also probe the status of the e-Naira on the global cryptocurrency platform to know statutory compliance in creating the digital currency. The resolution was passed during a plenary session on Tuesday following the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance sponsored by member representing Ogun State Isiaka Ibrahim of the All Progressives Congress. Moving the motion, Ibrahim said the move will help identify threats to national security and gaps in the legislative framework. We'll go on a break here and be back with Stock Market Report. The local bourse continued its northward movement on Wednesday, appreciating by 0.4%, with the market capitalization starting at 56.32 trillion naira. Now, thanks to investors who traded, Transcorp Power led the gainers with 9.99% share price appreciation, closing at 319 naira 40 kobo, followed by Transcorp, which closed at 18 naira 99 kobo. Now, at the end of Wednesday trading, a total of 460 million volumes of shares were traded in 9,338 at over 16 billion naira. Now, this market is sober when compared with the previous day, NGS trading day, which was Tuesday, March 5th, shows 5% improvement in volumes, 39% decline in turnover, and 15% decline in deals. Now, to our select global stocks, it's however a mixed trading day for our select global stocks, as only the UK FTSE and US Dow Jones ended in a bullish trade at 0.43% and 0.63%, leaving only the Japan's Nikkei in a bearish trade at 0.017%. And that's all on Business and Stock Market Report. Over to you, Simi, for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Tamilore. In the United States, President Joe Biden and his predecessor Donald Trump have gained victories in the statewide Super Tuesday primary, cementing a November rematch and pushing the former president's last major rival, Nikki Haley, out of the Republican race. Trump won the Republican votes in 14 of 15 states, while Nikki Haley, former United Nations ambassador, and his last remaining rival won Vermont, denying the former president a full sweep. The only contest Biden lost on Tuesday was the Democratic caucus in American Samoa, a tiny U.S. territory in the South Pacific Ocean. Both the 81-year-old Biden and the 77-year-old Trump continue to dominate their parties despite facing questions about age, and neither having broad popularity across the general electorate. Finally, on sports, the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, has announced the suspension of Africa's only accredited drug testing laboratory, Bloemfontein, due to multiple non-conformities with international standards. In a statement, WADA said it had suspended the accreditation of the South African Doping Control Laboratory in Bloemfontein for up to 6 months. The statement added that during the period of the suspension, the laboratory shall address all non-conformities identified by the lab EAG or WADA in any request for corrective action or otherwise, as well as any additional non-conformities identified by any follow-up WADA site visit during the suspension period. That's our bulletin on news now. Thank you for watching. See you next time.